I just think some couples are on that train of like, yeah, we're so comfortable in front of each other. We get to I fart and take shits in front of them. It's like, hey, what are you bragging about? That's not good. And hey, let's see what your relationship is in 2 years' time. Yeah. Let's see if you guys are like still fucking, having fun, hooking up all the time, romantic. Or let's see if that dwindles out.
Yeah.
Let's see if that slowly fades. Why is that? Sorry, go again.
So I'm just saying it's a good day to be a glory hunter. Would you not agree?
Why is that?
Well, have you seen the table at the moment?
Oh God! You are a plastic fan.
No,
you are.
Listen,
you are.
Manchester United,
Man United,
top of the table for the first time since 1949.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not true. I mean, even I know that that's not true, and I'm not a Man United fan.
It feels pretty good, though. I have to say, it feels pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it? Does it feel good, even though you don't follow football?
Yeah. I mean, how does it feel that I don't really give a fuck, but my team is still like 10 places above your team?
It doesn't bother me at all because it's you who doesn't really care about football. But it makes me laugh because you are a typical Man United fan. When literally you're only there for the glory. Yeah, whenever they're on top,
we're
that's
on top,
when you
baby. We're on
that's
top.
It. That's
when they were 7th. Didn't give a fuck.
No, exactly.
But they're on top, baby, and now I'm the biggest fan. I remember that time I went to go see them once when I was like 12. That was fantastic.
You are
honestly though. No, I mean, no. All joking aside, though, I do question where they would be today if not for my support, basically. I think it's been a long road.
I tell you where they'd be. Bang slap exactly where they are.
What do you
mean? Right there.
Well, no, I mean
for the past.
I mean, like, I know that obviously, like they obviously work and train like super hard and stuff. I just think that like without I don't know. I just feel like my individual like support over the years has really kind of like brought them to where they needed to be. And I basically all I'm saying is I just don't know. No, we don't know. We don't know. You don't know. I don't know. We don't know where they would be right now if it was not for the unconditional support that I had provided for them, or all this time.
Well, oh no.
We just don't know. We just don't know.
No, I do know, and that's exactly where they are.
Well, there's no way that you could know, though. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, there is, because your support isn't known to them.
Well,
because you don't voice it. You don't have tell you what, if you had a podcast called Soccer Chat, where you talked about your love for Man United, and oh my God, I'd love that, man. If that was something you did in private, and oh man, I would pay money for that to be real. But yeah, you know what's funny though? Hey, don't get used to it. Don't get used to it, because this.
No, man, I just don't see. I don't see in the foreseeable future how it can change. Really,
I tell you how.
How?
Because you're going to lose games. That's how.
I just don't see once we're on top how we can be taken off that. Do you know what I mean? It just makes sense to me how that could possibly happen, especially considering that I'm like actively a part of the supporting community now as well. So,
typical Man United fan. As soon as they're on top, that's when they all come out. That's when they all creep out of the cave. Yeah. Oh, they all have that excuse. I don't really care about football. As soon as they're on top, the old T-shirts come on, the old jerseys, and they'll mention it in their story. Great result today, boys. Top of the league.
Oh, did you see my story? That's great. Thanks for that.
I saw it. I saw it.
I was wearing my my children's small Man United shirt with the number 7 on that had my name on it. A little bit of a snug fit, but to be honest,
I was going to say it's a surprising fit that it didn't look like it was that small. Like, were you huge as a child or something?
Yeah, I was. I was trained by like those Russian weightlifting athletes that like really like.
Oh, you were jacked.
Yeah, they get you started from like when you're about 4 years old, and I was just
right.
I was really bulky, but it was quite abusive, so I had to sort of basically for my own good, I had to like not be jacked anymore. Basically, okay. That's why I am where I am now.
Oh, cool, man. Great. Yeah. That's a great story. I wish it were true. So listen, but I will say this though about Man United fans. Hey,
welcome back to Soccer FC pod.
Last thing I'll say about it, right? I really do think that Man United fans, and there's a listener that's going to really get bothered by this, but you guys, I mean, this is great. You're at top of the league, right? With half a season to go. Obviously, that doesn't really mean anything because there's half the season to go, and this is the second half is obviously the hardest part of the season.
Well, arguable, but yeah.
Why is that arguable? You know what? I don't even want to get into it. Listen. Man United are not the club that they once were. Just like Arsenal at my club, they're not the club that they once were. Arsenal fans need to get over it and sort of realise, hey, we're not who we were. Man United also need to do that, right? You guys are an okay club at the moment, and it's gonna be a long time. In fact, I wonder if you're ever gonna get back what you had with Fergie, and you've got to accept.
I think we're there, man. Honestly, we're there. I mean, the numbers say it all, really, don't they?
Look, to be fair, they've obviously been playing somewhat decent, but it's because all the other clubs, like Liverpool getting beaten 7-2 at Aston Villa, all the other clubs, it's like everyone is having an okay season. Not one club or two clubs are having an incredible season. Everyone is playing pretty averagely.
It's understandable. Like, I think just the performance that Man United are pumping out right now, it's just so intimidating for the other clubs, and that's why they're underperforming, to be honest. So that's their tactic. I mean, I know what Arsenal's tactics are like, but that's like our tactic that we use is to like.
And what's Arsenal's? Go on, if you think you know what are Arsenal's tactics?
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. I just know that our tactic is to like intimidate the other clubs. So they perform worse. Right. So I mean, as I said, that's just what works for us. The numbers are there. You know, the table says it all. It's kind of undisputable at that point. So if anything, I think, I mean, just as a friend, I'm just going to say, come to you as a friend right now. You sound kind of a little bit sour or bitter, or another word would be jealous. I know you're wearing green right now, man, but it's just like, I'm just saying, it's probably not the best color on you.
Hey, listen, in 3 months' time, let's see where you are in the league. Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. Let's see. Also, I love how it's. If I had to guess, before I met you, I would have guessed you would have supported Man United as well. I really would have.
Of course I do.
And also,
I'm brown.
Why is it? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like so many foreigners, Man United is the team. It's not their fault because the thing is, you're all suckers. But you're all suckers because you fed into that marketing. Like at Man United, the team pushed out. The thing is, Man United were on top when like the internet was coming about.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were the
best team.
Right?
Yeah, that was it.
So all these foreigners like Man United. I
don't like the way you said foreigners.
Part of that. You're part of that. Why? Well, I'm not saying you're a foreigner, dude.
Yeah.
But
just there was a bit of venom in it.
Well, foreigners.
Yeah.
But then again, I suppose, I don't know. Man, I love Man United fans. I love that you guys had it so good. Now for 7 years, you've been struggling. It's been great to watch. Anyway.
Yeah, should explore some like pinks and like reds and stuff, maybe. Some like different colours on you, as I said. Just green. I don't know if that works for you, man.
Hey, when was the last cup you won?
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I know when ours was. It was sooner. It's more recent than yours.
We're gonna talk about football all day, or
yeah,
we're gonna move on.
Oh, I tried to move it on. I tried to move it on.
Fucking hell! I sound like a broken record, man.
Jesus, man.
Nah, I love it. I love winding you up. So this is What a Bother, where we talk about what bothers us, specifically what bothers Nick when Man United are at the top of the table, but also, more importantly, what bothers you guys. We've got an overwhelming amount of emails and support this week. Oh,
emails. Sorry.
Yep, and support. I mean, I guess emails are support in a sense. So do you want to go through some of those, my good friend?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you want to help a few little Janes and Jims with their issues?
I do.
Quite frankly, I like to laugh at other people, and it makes me feel better.
Me too.
So we've got one here from an anonymous, as always.
Sorry?
I mean, we're anonymous.
Okay.
Yeah, from the multi-international hacking group Anonymous.
Sick.
They've reached out to us.
Yeah.
And this guy there's not really much details about him, but the email is called My Stinky Problem.
Okay.
Do you want to give me a name of a Man United player currently playing in the season
Who looks stinky?
Well, no, I didn't say that. I just said just because we were on that topic.
Their striker looks like he'd be kind of stinky. Bruno Fernandez, is that his name? Bruno Fernandez. So I think that's his name. You should know. What's his name, dude?
What's that? Sorry.
What's his name? You should know. You're a Man United fan, right?
Whose name?
Is it Bruno Fernandez?
Yeah, something like that. Probably.
Okay, well,
I know.
You know
Paul Scholes, Giggs. Yep, they're all on the. They're
all of the era when they won the Prem.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
No wonder that would come to your mind. Let's go with Bruno.
Bruno says, right, hi guys, love the pod, but I'll cut to my bother. I like that. Straight to the point. My girl is getting too comfortable for my liking and is always farting and taking poos in front of me. When I brush my teeth, or I'm showering, she's too keen on sitting down on the bog and dropping bombs, stinky ones. Am I an asshole for just not really being okay with that? I know it's a natural thing, but I find it just so unsexy, and I feel like it's something that should just be kept private when possible. I'm all for being comfortable, but I also want to keep the attraction high, as I feel like it's slowly fading away. Am I being a melt? Can I say anything? What do you think? Thanks. Wow, that's quite a graphic email there to start off with.
Yeah, and like, I mean, straight off the bat, I kind of completely. I don't think he's being a melt.
Okay.
At all. I think he is. I think it depends how often it is, maybe.
Yeah.
Which would determine if he's being a melt or not. But like, let's say, I mean, if he's writing an email in, it must be pretty often.
Yeah, it's probably obviously happening enough to the point where like he's like, this is a problem now. Like this is, as he said. I mean, he said his attraction is slowly fading away. I mean, that's a pretty bold statement.
It's fucking. Sorry, whoever you are, but it's kind of hilarious that like that is something that is causing, like. That's an essential part of someone's relationship, which is attraction, and you're now
that's the tipping point. Yeah, that was it.
What did he say? Do I say something or what?
He's saying, can I say anything? Like basically, what does this gentleman do in the situation?
I think it's kind of
what does a lady do if she's also experiencing a similar thing? Because guys can be pretty gross.
Okay, well. You can. Here's the thing.
First of all, do you agree? How do you feel personally about
I actually
and the other things in front of your significant other?
I actually kind of agree with this guy. But to a certain extent, I think farting isn't. It was like kind of not a thing really. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. Although I would say like, don't do it for fun in front of your significant other. I think like unless you got to go, fair enough.
Do it, but just don't be shamed about it. You know, don't feel bad about yourself. You know, don't have fun with it.
No, I just don't think you need to force them out and be like, boom, like, hey, you're 6 years old. What are you doing? I think that's like for guys to do around each other, but not for a girl and a guy. And because at the end of the day, kind of like what he's saying, it's not an attractive thing to witness, is it? Right? And like I said, you just went like that as if it is attractive. Are you telling me you fucking want your girl to be farting?
No, it's just, I just think it's hot is all. Like,
oh, dude, get out.
No, I think I do get what you're saying. I think,
but hold on. But then going further and being like persistent about taking dumps in front of your other half. There's a couple that I know who have been together for like 25, 30 years, right? And they don't, farting, that's whatever, but going to the toilet, doing number twos, they don't do that in front of each other.
No.
And because they want to keep,
I don't know who
they
does.
think that that should be kept private. And you should always try, they said you should always try and keep the attraction as high as you can, right? That should be like a priority. It's like always feeling attracted to each other. So I feel like taking dumps, that's clearly not an attractive thing to witness, right? Especially, he said, like, it's stinky bombs or whatever, right?
There's something about it if it's stinky that just makes it not okay.
That's the thing that's not okay. I mean, if they didn't stink it, I guess it'd be fine. But the smell that it produces is not nice.
Well, I guess it's because it's a smell that it's not nice to breathe in, so naturally you're going to associate it with it being bad, right? So that's kind of where that kind of, the person that I find attractive is now producing something which I deem bad. Right.
And so you can, I just think some couples are on that train of like, we're so comfortable in front of each other. We get to I fart and take shits in front of them. It's like, hey, what are you bragging about? That's not good. And hey, let's see what your relationship is in 2 years' time. Yeah. Let's see if you guys are like still fucking, having fun, hooking up all the time, romantic. Or let's see if that dwindles out.
Yeah.
Let's see if that slowly fades.
Let's see if you guys just become friends that live together.
I think you guys have an obligation to a certain extent in a relationship to keep the attraction high, because like I said a few minutes ago, that's an important thing to do. You can't just you have to make effort to actually try and be somewhat attractive and feel attracted to from your
I get
other half.
That makes sense.
And I'm not saying, some people might not have a problem with it. Some people, and that's fair enough. But I do think it's objectively not the nicest thing to do, or objectively not the most attractive thing to do in front of someone. So I think to be fair to that guy, maybe you meet it down the middle. Farting's fine. Yeah. Taking dumps, just do that in your own time. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's what you need to say to her. Yeah, no, I agree. I think the farting thing you can get over for sure. I personally, I mean, I would just be a bit of a hypocrite. I'm a very gaseous being. I'm a very gaseous boy. So I couldn't really talk. I couldn't really talk about someone else's kind of flatulence per se, because as I said, I personally don't have an issue with that at all, and I do think. Yeah, I think it's such that for that it's like you can't really help that a lot of the time as well. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to sort of hold that in as well. So I definitely see it as like that's just such a natural thing that our bodies just do regularly. Like I don't have a problem with that at all. But I definitely think if she's quite like actively going out of her way to like especially when you're brushing your teeth, that's the bit that gets me. Like that's also just a very inconsiderate thing to do while someone's brushing their teeth. Like you don't want that whilst you're. No, it's not. Also, just not hygienic. No, it's not.
But yeah, I think if she's going out of her way to like to shite in front of you, I think that's a whole different story. I think that is definitely, as you said, that's just something you just do in your own time behind closed doors, and also it's something that at least for me personally, I prefer doing on my own. It's not something that I really want to do in front of other people. And I'm interested to know why this girl feels differently. But okay, so that kind of has our opinions out of the way. It's just about what this person says or what they can do about it.
I think it's a matter of, hey, okay, the two things that I'm going to say that you could do. Honestly, I don't think if she's that comfortable taking dumps in front of you, then you should feel comfortable enough to be like, hey, what are you doing? I don't want to smell that. Stop. And kind of just like basically say, do you mind not doing that? I want my alone time when I'm showering. Hey, if she's storming in when you're showering, like, come on. And then, when you're brushing your teeth should be like, you should feel nice and clean. It's like just about to go to bed, and then you're sniffing shit. It makes me feel kind of sick.
That's like that.
Great. So I think it's easy to say, hey, look, do you mind just not doing that? I'm cool with you farting, and you might just have to like meet down the middle. The alternative is that you just start calling her stinky poos. You just call her, hey, it's poopy pants. And she's like, what do you mean? And you're like, you shit yourself all the time. Not shit yourself. Imagine that. She's always shitting herself all the time. I'll be like, dude, fucking leave the chick. What are you talking about? No, I think you need, you can be like, hey, it's poops a lot over there. And she won't like that. And she'll be like, what are you talking about? And she'll be and like, this can sound horrible, but if you did that in front of like your friends, hey, she poops all the time in front. She's not gonna like that. Oh my God. She's not gonna like
emotionally
that.
abusing your partner.
If it's not registering, maybe that's worst case. But yeah, I think
it's one of those things that maybe, you know, it really does depend what your relationship is like. If you guys are used to having very honest conversations with each other, maybe you do just say it like, hey, that's not really my thing. But I think that's almost like making a mountain out of a molehill, as they say. I think your idea of just kind of joking about it might have a better effect. Where you're just like, you're joking about it. It's like, hey, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know, I'm doing this. But then, if that doesn't work because maybe she's like, haha, like goes along with it and loves it and then does it more, then maybe you need to have a conversation about it. Although I would argue if you're as well, I mean, this is probably getting a bit deeper, but like, if it's even affecting your attraction to that person, I wonder how much you are attracted to that person in the first place. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if you are really into someone in that sense, like there's probably not a lot that they can do to kind of really diminish that for you. But yeah, that's probably getting too much into it.
Although I do,
but no, I think
you're.
Yeah, go on.
I think you're right, though. I do think you're right. That's probably a good point. But also, I like certain people it won't bother, certain people it will.
Yeah,
and it honestly might be that he really is
really not his thing.
Is against that. Like, I don't want to see shit. Like, for him, it just might mean a lot more. So
that's true.
And I can actually kind of see how if someone's shitting in front of you, smell it stinking out the place, you're not going to want to then go and touch that person and be intimate with them. Like, are we being honest? Like, so I kind of get it I actually kind of get it.
I think that is just something that I think 99% of people are just, you know, would just be comfortable doing in their own time. And I think you touched on a really good point as well, which is about that alone time. I think if you guys agree to maybe like, you know, you take a shower together or something, and like that's kind of like something you agree upon. But apart from that, sometimes, you know, going to have that shower or using the bathroom is just almost like, as you said, that kind of alone time, or that you need that space. You know, you don't need to be on top of each other 24/7. Like, let a man brush his teeth, let a man shower in peace, kind of thing.
It's such a good point.
Especially with living together, especially at the moment, if you're living together during COVID as well. Like,
during
you need
COVID, to, like, and you don't get any time to yourself.
Don't be like that comfortable. Like, still have those boundaries in a sense. Otherwise,
I mean, I reckon that bleeds into other parts of their relationship, though. It sounds to me that it's like neediness.
Yeah, she sounds way too comfortable.
Sorry to be like, I don't mean to sound offensive, but maybe it's like a conversation of, I reckon that she doesn't give you much time to yourself as well. So maybe that just a conversation needs to happen.
Yeah.
But
I think we touched on
But dude, I tell you what, literally going back a little bit, like it really does it does bother me when couples are like, when they brag about they're that comfortable they can shit in front of each other. It's like, that's not an accomplishment. You're just I don't know why it's like, I guarantee if, like, as a girl who's like, we can do anything in front of each other, I guarantee your boyfriend isn't really like that cool with it.
Not super stoked about it.
He's not over the moon about it, and vice versa. If you're a guy who's like, I take shits in front of my girl all the time, what are you doing? Like, remember that I do think you have an obligation to like try and be like, keep it sexy as possible, and just fucking.
You've got to leave some things to the imagination, definitely.
Exactly, and I think maybe you need to sort of rein in. If anyone's listening and they're like, yeah, I do that. I don't know, how long have your relationships lasted? You know, remember that there are things that are like, just put the opposite.
I think even I think it's okay to be really comfortable with someone, but I just feel like that is probably like one of the very, very few things where you should just not.
No, and that's not to say don't disguise it. Like, you can announce like, I'm going to go take it down. Like, fair enough. Maybe not the coolest thing, but just go and do it in private. Like, that's just
sometimes it'd be funny to say that you're doing that thing, but you definitely don't need to be actually doing it. In front of each other. So 100%. But I'd love a follow up on that one. I know every time we've asked for a follow up, you guys have been really terrible at following up, so we'd love a follow up on that one.
Probably have offended that person.
Yeah, probably
to the point.
Yeah, who gives a fuck.
But no, I hope it works out. Anyway,
is there anything bothering you this week, man? You got any bothers yourself? We've got another one, if not.
I mean, I do, but I think maybe we let's do another. Let's do it.
I've got like a fairly short one here, but it might provoke you into a rant. But
last week, last week we didn't really do any, did we? So let's go for it.
Yeah, let's start hacking through them like a machete in the jungle. Happy New Year, you handsome lads. He said, a bother for you when apps change their features to make it objectively worse. This is often when they just remove something that had no business being removed. The worst I can remember is a while back on my old iPod Touch. They changed iTunes so that if you had more than 3 albums for an artist, you couldn't see all of the artist's songs in one list. Instead, you had to go into each album, know all songs section. We'll never understand the logic in removing that. Hated it. I'm sure you guys might have a more up-to-date example so your 11-year-old TikTok fans can relate. I'm pretty sure every 11-year-old person on TikTok hates us at this point. But
yeah, for sure.
I think that's a super relevant one because me and you are literally talking about this yesterday, if not the day before. Super annoying. Absolutely first world problems for sure, but definitely needs to be discussed for apps. I honestly don't know what goes on in these people. It's almost like the app developers, they make something great and then they become really egotistical and too big-headed, and they think that they know what the future needs to be, and then ruin the thing that they've created. Do you remember what the one we were talking about the other day was?
No, I'm actually trying to think of it.
So it was, for some reason, in the latest Instagram update, when you go and send a video before. So what we'd have a couple of groups with some other people, like for example, one with me, you, and Reese, and when you went to go and send a video, it came up with like basically the most recent people that you kind of be talking to. But now for some reason, groups just aren't in that anymore. Like there's no groups basically in that list, and that is just super frustrating because it's like, oh hey, cool, what happened? Like why? Where did that go? Why is that not a thing anymore? Why can't I find that thing?
Then we had to search. I managed to find it through searching, and it's just like, no, what you want when you want to send a video, like a quick little funny video, you want the convenience, you want that speed, you want to just be like boom boom boom, done. Don't you? That's it. But no, now it's, hey, where's the group? Oh, cool. Search it. Oh, what was it called again? Can't remember. Done. I'm off.
It's
one
of those things where I hate to be like, I hate change or anything, but like, hey man, like the thing worked before. Like, don't change it. Like it worked the way I wanted it to. Don't just remove things for no reason. Don't
fix what ain't broke. Obviously,
as they say.
The common saying. I know they do these things for future proofing, don't they? They sort of think, all right, how is this all sort of how is it evolving? What can we do to sort of like help it evolve? But then, like saying that, I don't know. There was something that happened. Oh, the way that Instagram, it's so confusing. It's like, hey, how do I post a fucking picture now? Like, oh yeah, you have to go to like your home feed now, go up in the top right area, and there's like a plus button. It's like, cool, why did they do that? Cool, why did they do that?
To be fair, with that one, I kind of get it because it was kind of confusing, like where you would post stories and you have to go somewhere to post reels and then you post somewhere to post video. Because now you just click that and it comes up with a list like, oh cool, what do you want to post? Feed, stories, whatever. But I do agree, like just changing and then also just not being like, hey, this is where the new thing is.
Look, tell you what, let me open up Instagram right now. Right, they do they have home feed, explore, reels, like shop, and then you, right? They should just have on the home feed posting and stories. On the reels, just press the reels button to post your own. Yeah. Like they've made it so on reels, I can't upload a reel on the reels tab. I have to go back, then press.
Yeah, that is long. Like imagine having to press. For sure, pressing more buttons.
100%.
So companies stop changing things more than they need to be changed, for sure. I think sometimes they just do it because they feel like they have to be relevant and keep updating things, and it's just
Well, Instagram just needs to like stop copying other companies. They need to literally. I know we talked about the TikTok thing. Reels is an absolute. How have they not taken them to court? But yeah, they just need to stop. The next thing's I don't know what the next thing.
But the problem with Reels as well is like, I'd say about 90% of Reels are just reposted TikToks in the first place. So it's like, you've created a feature on your app that is just direct reposts from another app. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make. Well, if you post on TikTok, you will also post a reel. Probably, like I'd say, like 90% of people who are big on TikTok will do the same on Reels. But you know what? It freaks me out. How, like, I know I said to you a little while ago to watch The Social Dilemma, but I know it's probably obvious, but maybe people haven't thought about it in this way. Instagram are trying their hardest to keep you on that app for as long as you can, as long as possible. They want to draw you in and keep you there for as long as possible so that they can chuck as many ads at you that you probably don't even realize to make as much money as possible. So when you spend time looking at an ad, they get money for it. So if they see like loads of people are on TikTok, they go, cool, we'll do our own version so that we can keep people on the app for longer and get more money. That is literally why they're doing it. And it's really fucked up.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up when you think about it that way. Their objective is to keep you on the app for as long as possible.
Yeah.
And they'll work out your patterns. They'll work out that if they send you a notification, it will get you engaged. They do honestly, the stuff, you don't realize what they have ready for you. They have each individual person has a plan. They have a plan for each person to make sure they can get your attention and keep you on the app.
It's really interesting because obviously, there was a time in the sort of 50s or 60s. I can't remember when it was exactly, but in the last century, where advertisers came up with the new form of advertising, which was subliminal messaging, right? So you'd sneak in messages, you'd sneak in frames of a product or something into stuff, and then, but basically, so it would hit your subconscious, and then eventually that was barred. That was like deemed as illegal. That was outlawed. Sorry, it was illegal, right, to do that. And I feel like a lot of these apps are almost starting to follow those kind of trends, but the way they're doing it, it's almost like the law hasn't quite caught up yet, where they've kind of figured that that's kind of quite immoral to do. And I just wonder, I do see in the next few years or so, them be some kind of laws being like, hey, you can't do this anymore. Like, you can't use user info to customize a feed, for example, to sell more products to someone, or you can't listen in on everyone's conversations all the time and then give them Amazon ads and stuff like that. I just wonder if in the next few years we'll start seeing more of that stuff, because you're right, like kind of the way they have an algorithm, which is, it's terrifying, have that algorithm to customize your experience in order to basically to sell you as much as possible is it's a bit, I mean, there are benefits to it. Sometimes you see more of the stuff that you like, but it's definitely not made with the right intent. For sure. No, you're right. There is benefit to it because you're seeing the stuff that you want to see, but it's only to keep you on the app so they can sell ads. That's all they're doing it for. They don't want you to have like we're making that person's day better. Maybe there's a little bit of that. It's purely so they can keep you on the app. And dude, there is one for you, specifically for you. You're not in the bunch. You're not mixed with like 100,000 guys. It's just you, because they've worked out your habits. Kind of makes you feel quite special, though, to be honest. Like, I kind of like it. I like the attention,
No,
customized for me. Instagram.
We talked about this.
Yes, Daddy.
You need to get your attention in other ways, man. We need to get you out of the house. We need to get you doing things. Don't rely on. I
definitely find that I feed off of algorithms for attention, for sure. I like when they're kind of cute like that, aren't they? When they kind of know what you like, Sometimes they'll give me something, Instagram will give me a video related to something else, and I'll think, oh, you're really listening to me, you're really, when I'm talking to other people in my life and they kind of ignore me, but Instagram's always there. It's always knowing what I like, and I think there's something kind of cute about that, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
I think the reason why people ignore you is kind of like the reason why you like that stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of goes hand in hand.
I guess I'm kind of like forward thinking like that. People are quite intimidated by that.
I think it just falls into the category of just being like the biggest loser.
Like, I'm not saying that like I would marry an algorithm, but like, have you seen the film Her? Because I don't know if I would have something similar to that, where I had some kind of romantic relationship with an algorithm or a voice AI, if you will. But that's just something that I've been thinking about recently. I don't know how your week's been going. Cool. That's probably about all we got time for, but thanks so much, guys, for joining in this episode of What a Bother. Email on the screen, please write in. These write-ins are absolutely hilarious. We love them, and we love you guys. Yeah, go watch Her, I guess. Great film. Joaquin Phoenix does a fantastic job. Scarlett Johansson's great.
Do you think you could ever what do you think men in the future would ever sort of be fooled into, like, I know that it does happen where certain people marry like dolls, like sex dolls. Do you think that there will be a time when they're so advanced to the point where, obviously, everyone's like, oh yeah, they're going to look like humans soon, to the point where we don't know what the difference.
Yeah.
But do you think that's going to start to happen when they become like pretty much human-like?
Oh, 100%.
Do you think,
I mean, it's there are guys that fall in love with cars and stuff already. So
okay, yeah, but they're like a specific type of person. They're like very delusional. But do you think that there will be laws in place where it's like, no, you can't do that?
It's
you
interesting.
Just can't do that.
I'm pretty sure it's happened in Japan. I know that in Japan, the reproduction rate in Japan is at an all-time low, and they have done some research, and part of the causation of that, or at least there is a correlation between how advanced some of their kind of like AI girlfriends are in over there,
God.
where like basically they kind of realize that especially the guys that are like in Japanese culture super hardworking, and like they work like ridiculous hours a week, and they're super super busy. A lot of them have found that they enjoy that kind of easiness of just having like a virtual girlfriend, and then they'll just have that instead. And that apparently that's like an actual thing. I might be misquoting that stuff. But, so absolutely, I think in the future, I think if the AI is there and it like kind of acts close to a female, I think 100% there'll be guys that are just like, yeah, this works for me.
I mean, you can see it. Guys are gonna want convenience.
Yeah, girls are complicated.
If we're going down a path of people staying in and being less social, mm-hmm. and these things are becoming, imagine to get to the point where it's like people, you can choose what you want. You can basically choose your ideal person to be with, and you can switch them off if they're pissing you off.
Yeah.
And you can that's terrifying.
Yeah. But that's the thing. That will be 100%. I think that will happen for sure. Crazy.
Anyway,
but yeah, let us know what you think, guys. Do you think that's a reality, and is that something that you'd be interested in at home? Let us know. Do you think you would go for that Japanese sort of culture where you can make your own? You can make your own. Yeah.
I made my wife. I made my husband.
GF, yeah, or wife, husband. Yeah.
Will that just be the norm in 200 years' time?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Probably a lot sooner than that, man. Yeah, find out next week when it'll probably happen, because everything is happening at the moment. All right,
hey,
guys.
actually, I know we're trying to sign off. Because we're going over, but what do you think is going to be do you think 2021, I know like we don't know and it's just chance, but do you think this is going to be a worse year or a better year for
good question. I think it kind of touches on what we talked about with our New Year's resolution episode last week, where it's like, hey, like shit just happens. It's not like nothing's going to be better just because it's 2021. Like we're still in the same plane of time, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, for sure. Yeah,
because everyone was like, oh, 2020 is a shit year, let's get rid of it. Yeah. It's just like, hey, everything is carried on over.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
And the lockdowns over here anyway are like worse than they've ever been before.
Yeah. Infection rates, deaths are worse. Yeah. I mean, I just think in general as well, just the whole kind of social unrest, I think is like a boiling pot, whatever the phrase is, and I think it will get worse before it gets better, for sure. I think we'll see some interesting things happen this year and some interesting developments.
That often happens in life. It's often a saying, oh, it has to get worse before it gets better. Mm-hmm. It's like, why?
That's how it is, man. It's like revolutions and stuff. It's just how it is. People get more and more there's more and more unrest, there's more and more kind of unhappiness, until eventually it boils over and you have like a revolution, and then people, change the way things happen. I'm not saying that's going to happen this year. I just think that it'll probably carry on getting worse before it gets better, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thanks again for tuning in, guys. Absolutely loved it with you always. Nick Mount, my name's Tam.
100%.
I hope you guys have a good week.
Cheers, guys.
Sayonara.